incredible day. As always, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we of course have our October reading wrap up. If you guys don't know, or if you are new, hello and welcome. I upload these videos every single month. Not only do I love to share with you guys what I've read in the past month, it's also a really good way for me to keep track of how many books I'm reading per month, if I'm doing better than the month before, if I've done worse, and just to kind of keep track of it. Obviously, as you guys know, and I have mentioned many a time, like, it doesn't matter if you read one book a month, if you read a few pages every month. If you're reading, that is still really, really good. But I actually managed to read 9 books in the month of October, which for me, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best month I've ever had, it's not the worst month I've ever had. I'll take 9, I will accept it, and we have a really good mix of books, to be honest with you. So without further ado, as always, we are gonna dive right in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and carry on watching. Okay, so firstly we are going to start off with the 2 book club books that I read in October. So if you guys didn't know, I run a book club on my own and it is the Besties Book Club. It's completely free and it is linked down below. I also run a book club with my bestie Kelsey, and that is the Across the Pond Book Club, again completely free and linked down below. So we're going to go through those 2 first. So the first one was for my book club, and that is That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. Now I'm not going to lie to you, I mainly picked this one up because I saw it in WH Smith's and it was floppy. It was just a vibe. Like, I loved the matte cover. It looked like something that I would really enjoy, and I'd not heard of this author before, so it was a completely new author for me. I freaking love this book. This book took me by such a surprise. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so much so that I have actually added both of her other books to my Amazon wishlist because I need to read them. Like, I need those books ASAP because this was phenomenal. Not only did I love this book, but all the besties in the book club also thoroughly loved this book. Like, we were having such a good time reading this book in October. I think most of us were actually reading it around the same time as well, so every single time I was kind of updating the chapters on Fable and everything like that, I was kind of reading everyone else's thoughts, and it was so fun and so intriguing to see your guys' thoughts and like our kind of guesses to the plot twist and that kind of thing. This book, the only way I can describe it without spoiling it is basically you start off by reading a point of view of a girl. However, she's kind of lost all of her thoughts, and that's not what I meant. Memories, that's what I meant. She doesn't know how she got there. All she knows is that she's woken up on the middle of like this woods on the side of the road, completely like covered in rain and wet, with like no phone, nothing. And she ends up getting picked up by the police, and they're like, right, like, what's going on? She has no idea, like zero. She cannot remember her name. She looks at herself in the mirror, no recollection of her own face, like absolutely insane. Her dad then comes to pick her up and he's like, look, here's her birth certificate, like I've got all her details, like here you go. The police just say, okay, great, like let's check out your house, and then if all kind of checks out, then you guys can go home, like that's no problem. The whirlwind this book took me on, insane, because you read from this girl's POV, but you also read from a boy's point of view whose girlfriend went missing weeks ago. They have no idea where she's gone, so he's kind of out looking for her because the police think that he's kind of done something to his girlfriend, and he's like, I definitely didn't, like absolutely not. He seems a bit suspicious. Honestly, this book was so good. I gave this one a 5-star because it just shocked me. The plot twist at the end, I thought I had it. I thought I knew what was going to happen. No, it took me on a whirlwind. And did I nearly cry reading this book? Yes, I did. The emotion that this book took me on, I cannot even describe. So this was a 5-star. If you guys want a really good thriller mystery, I cannot recommend this book enough. Please read it. It was just as good, honestly, as like a Frida McFadden. You guys know I'm a Frida stan, so yeah, that is saying something. And it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so I highly recommend. 5-star. Just so good. I cannot recommend it enough, honestly. Okay, next up we have Home Is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This one was part of mine and Kelsey's book club, and I actually had this book on my Amazon wish list for probably a year or so, and I never picked it up, and I just wasn't really kind of thinking about it, but I saw it in the works. It was £3. I was like, well, obviously you're gonna come home with me, and it got picked for book club, which I was so excited about. However, tell me why the font is so small. And also, this wasn't on Kindle Unlimited. It wasn't on any Audible, like, audiobook app or anything. So I had to read the paperback, which, guys, I have not read a physical paperback in so, like, months. Absolutely ages. So it was quite nice, I won't lie, but the font was so small, so I was, like, really struggling. Anyway, this book is essentially about 3 siblings, and their mum is very, very ill, and she unfortunately passes away. It's very early on in the book, so it's not really a spoiler. And they end up coming back together. They've had so many issues in the past between them. I don't really know how to say it without, like, spoiling it, but, like, they ended up, like, not really talking, not seeing each other for years and years, and each sibling, there's, like, stuff going on, if you know what I mean. And essentially, it's kind of about their father who disappeared years before, and they still don't really know kind of what's going on with him, but I can't really tell you guys much about it without spoiling it because so much gets unraveled in this book. However, I didn't love it. I really thought I was gonna love it. Don't get me wrong, the plot twist I really loved. I didn't see it coming, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some of you guys in the book club kind of saw it coming. I had no freaking idea, which annoyed me because I so should have, but I didn't. I loved the plot twist. I loved the kind of to and fro from past to present, because we do read, like, journal entries as well from their mum, so that was really interesting. And I loved the kind of, there was quite a few different plots going on. I think maybe that's why I didn't love it. There was a few different situations going on at once. It kind of made it all a bit jumbled, and also I just felt a little bit bored. So I did skim read probably 100 pages of this book. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of just reading, like, what they were saying. But yeah, I gave it a 3-star. It was an okay book, and I see where it was going. It just wasn't, I think the main issue is I literally had just finished this book, and I had to read this one because we were kind of encroaching in November. So I was like, right, I need to read the last book club book. So comparing this to that book, it just wasn't as good. Maybe if I read them the other way, this one would have been a bit better. I don't know. But yeah, I gave it a 3-star. As I say, it was good. It just wasn't as good as this one. So the next book we have is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. I was on a mission this past month to finish series, and not only did I finish this series, I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, I finished 6 other series this month. I have smashed it, honestly. Anyway, I picked up The Gingerbread Bakery because obviously, as you guys know, I did pull this one for my October TBR. It was giving Christmas. I've just noticed actually it is very festive on the front. I didn't actually even clock that when I was reading it, I'm not gonna lie. This one is about Annie and Mac. It's essentially very similar to all the others. This is the only thing about this series that I kind of dislike, is that each book is very similar. It's about someone who owns a really cutesy little shop in the Dream Harbour town, and then they have, like, some sort of relation with someone. It's either like an enemies to lovers or like a friends to lovers situation. It was cute. Again, this whole series for me has been a 3-star series. It hasn't really shocked me. I don't find myself thinking about this book much after I've read it, if you know what I mean. So for that reason, I'm giving this one a 3-star. As you can tell, I don't remember an awful lot about the book now that I've read it. Like, these books aren't books which are going to resonate with me forever and ever, whereas like this one, I can read that again. Like, it was so incredible. This one was cozy. It was good. It did what it needed to do. It's a really good palette cleanser series. That's kind of how I think about all the books. Like, they're very good, but just very simple and very easy to read. Does that make sense? They have a bit of spice. The found family is really nice because you do get mentions of all of the other books. And I will continue the series. It's just not a series that I would say to all my friends, like, you have to read this book. Do you know what I mean? I give it a 3-star. As I say, it was good, just not my favourite. The next book we have, again, as I said, finished another series, and that is My Dark Prince by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen. You guys know I've pulled this one so many times for my TBR videos, but for some reason it just, honestly, I just kept putting it off. I think it was mainly like the sheer size, because there was no audiobook available. It was literally in German, so I couldn't download the audiobook anywhere, so I knew that I had to read the Kindle version, which is fine, but I just love a good audiobook, especially... Did you guys just hear my stomach rumbling then? I am so sorry, I'm so hungry. What time is it? Okay, it's 1:30. It is lunchtime. Anyway, I think it was the sheer size of it, and knowing that like the Kindle version was the only option. It is nearly, literally 550 pages. It's a chunky book, but did I love it? I actually did. I gave this one a 4-star, and it was a really enjoyable book. This one focuses on Oliver and Briar, and it's kind of like a friends to lovers. There's kind of a little bit of an argument in the middle, and it's kind of how they then become enemies to lovers. It's got a bit of memory loss in there. It's got forced proximity. It's got spice, of course. It is a really good book and a really good series. I do recommend it. I know some people that absolutely despised My Dark Romeo. Is that what's called, My Dark Romeo? I'm pretty sure. But I've loved it. I've loved every single one. They've been really good. I don't think they've been like 5-star, like holy grail, like god tier books by any means, but these are just enjoyable, spicy, silly, goofy times, and they're all inspired, I think, loosely by like fairy tales. So this one is inspired by Sleeping Beauty. She kind of suffers with memory loss. Her name is Briar Rose, like Aurora. I think her middle name might even be Aurora, Briar Rose. That Aurora was mentioned at some point, I don't even know why, but anyway, it was a really good series. So the first one, yeah, My Dark Romeo, My Dark Desire, and now My Dark Prince. I just really enjoy them. So yeah, this one was a 4-star, would highly recommend. If you want like a spicy, silly, goofy time with a really good plot, they're really good. Next up, we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. Now this one is book 2 after Phantasma, and I again really enjoyed this book. Now, one thing I will say about this book is, again, it is in third person, which if you guys don't know, I hate third person. I find that I can't relate to the characters as much. I don't feel as immersed in the story as I do in a first person. It's just my opinion, it's not my favourite. However, that being said, I still did give this one a 4-star because the plot of it is so gripping that I just didn't. After a while, you kind of don't really think about the third person so much, and you kind of really immerse yourself in the story anyway, so that is why I gave it a 4-star. This one focuses on Genevieve, who is Ophelia's sister from book 1, and she basically ends up going to this house called Enchantra to find almost a sibling / father figure to, I don't really know how to explain it without spoiling it. She has certain powers, and she wants to find somebody related to her that could help her maybe understand it and sort of find other people with similar traits, I guess. And she basically finds a letter to encourage her to go to Enchantra, and she might find some leads that way. She gets to the door and basically is told to go away, don't come in, and obviously she doesn't listen. She goes in, and then this guy Rowan, who we love, is basically like, you are stuck here now. Like, the reason I was telling you to go away is because now you've entered Enchantra, like, you can't leave until the games are done. And she's like, what do you mean? So basically there is a forced marriage in this, it's forced proximity, it's quite graphic in a sense of like there's a lot of trials, which is basically like a life or death situation, but I really enjoyed it. I love this series. I know that some people have read this and they didn't love it, but again, I had a really great time with it, so I highly recommend this series. It's spicy, it's fun. The spice didn't happen until like quite a while way in, I won't lie, which I was a bit like, hurry up, do you know what I mean? But it was really good. It was really, really good, and I loved the male main character. He was so just fantastic, and I just loved kind of like breaking him apart and like getting to know him more, which was cool. So yeah, absolutely love this one, a 4-star. Okay, so let's talk about honestly one of the most underrated series I think that there is out there at the moment, and that is The Curse That Binds Us by Laura Thalassa. So this is part of the Bewitched series, which I loved. I loved Bewitched, I loved Bespelled, I loved them both. They were so good, and it's kind of like an academy style witch spicy kind of plotline. It's really hard to describe it, honestly. I really recommend it if you love spice and you love spooky things. It's a really good series to get into. This one is essentially the prequel, and I cannot tell you much about this one because it will spoil the other 2 books if you decide to read them, but the only way I can describe this is it's a prequel featuring 2 characters which you do get to know in the other books. It's kind of how they came about, and it's sort of a story of love and loss and kind of that sort of situation. I don't want to tell you guys too much about it because honestly it will completely spoil book 1 and book 2 of the actual series. But yeah, highly recommend this series. I have the original covers, which I'm so thankful that Laura decided to also publish a cover for this one that would match the others, because they have since changed the covers, and I hate that. Like, I hate it when you have a whole series collection and they release a book that doesn't match. Like, it actually makes my blood boil, if I'm being honest. But anyway, this was just incredible. This was a 4-star read, and I just had the most incredible time. The flop as well, insane, like so comfortable to read. I had such a good time with this one, and again, yeah, just a 4-star. I don't want to tell you guys too much about it, but spicy, witchy, soulmates kind of vibes. It's so good. Another series which I completed in the month of October was the Big Shot series by Tessa Bailey, and this is Picture Perfect. I have enjoyed this series somewhat. It's not a series which I would say is something I would highly recommend to all my friends again, but it's got spice, it's fun, it's light, it's a good palette cleanser, and sometimes you just need a good palette cleanser. Like, a book like this is so in depth and there's so much detail that after I read something like that, I love having something like this because it just completely just like cleanses my brain. Do you know what I mean? This one is the sprayed edged one from The Works. My others I don't think have sprayed edges, but I was like, do you know what? It's cheaper. Just buy The Works version. This one focuses on Robbie and Skylar, I think. Yes, Skylar. This one is like a brother's best friend. They're both into sports. It's very similar to all the others where like they're both into sports and there's like a little bit of like enemies to lovers vibe going on. It's a little bit stressful because obviously it's his best friend's little sister, but it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable, spicy, fun, silly, goofy time, and I gave this one a 3-star. I think most of the books in this series have been a 3-star for me, and it's not that they're bad books at all, it's just because I've enjoyed them, but again, it's not like I'm ever gonna probably think about them much ever again unless I reread them, so this one was good. Not my fave, but it was good. Next up, we have a really, really, really anticipated read for me that I was honestly so excited to get this book that I had to read it instantly, and that is Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I loved Bride so much, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the last 2 Ali Hazelwood books I've read, I've absolutely hated. I have hated them, and I don't know what it is, because previously I have fell in love with her writing. Like, I have so many of her books that I have enjoyed so much, but the last 2, Deep End and Problematic Summer Romance, I've really not enjoyed. This one was okay. I actually shockingly gave this one a 3-star, and it's not that I didn't love it, I just didn't love it as much as Bride, and I think I gave Bride a 4-star, so that is kind of how I scored this one. I wouldn't say it was awful, it just wasn't my favourite. I think because I love a good vampire book. Like, I love a vampire romance, and Bride is about a vampire and a werewolf kind of getting it on, so it was a really interesting read and really fun, really spicy, it was that kind of thing. This one is more alpha werewolf meets a kind of hybrid of werewolf and human, so there was no vampire involved, which was a shame, but I did really enjoy the story. This one focuses on Serena and Cohen. It was a really fun, spicy book, I guess. It was a lot to focus on her, about why she was half human, half werewolf, how she came about, like she's the only one, and she basically gets taken in by Cohen's pack to help her kind of understand that lifestyle and going from there. But it was a good book, it just wasn't my favourite. But yeah, I would recommend the series. I liked it. This one anyway, I loved Bride, so definitely read Bride, but yeah, this one was a 3. And last but definitely not least, we have Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. I actually downloaded the audiobook for this one, and I'm so glad I did, because the audiobooks for these are just so funny. Like, the audiobook for Lights Out, I was like actually laughing out loud. It's so hilarious. The spice is spicing. It's like a spicy rom-com mafia murdery kind of vibe. Like, it is the weirdest combination of kind of genre and theming, but it works so well to the point that I just eat these books up. So this one is basically about Nico and Lauren, and Nico is basically part of a mafia family. He's got a very dark family situation where there's a lot of like going on and that kind of thing. He like works for his dad, and his dad is very strict on like who he's with and that kind of thing, but he has had an absolute like obsession with Lauren for the longest time. They did have a past, and Lauren is actually a adult content creator, and he watches a lot of her content and kind of gives her a lot of money, and like she doesn't really like realize it's him for a while. It is such a fun like silly goofy time, but there is a lot of dark subjects within these books, but it's not too hard to read, if that makes sense. I would just read the trigger warnings with any book anyway. If you guys have triggers, please read trigger warnings, because I'm quite lucky in the sense that I can read a lot of things, so I do go into a lot of things blind, but if anything kind of bothers you, please do read them. But this was so good. I gave this one a 4-star. I don't really think I love this one as much as Lights Out, because Lights Out was just so beyond enjoyable. Like, I loved every minute of it. This one was really good though. I did really like it, just not as much as Lights Out, but it was so good nonetheless. If you guys have been like umming and ahhing about reading it, highly recommend. So those are all of the books I managed to read throughout the month of October. I would love to know down below, what have you guys read in the month of October? What was your favourite book? What was your least favourite book? Let me know down below. And also, if you guys are new to my channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 13,000 of you, and I would really love to hit that at some point soon. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. I love you guys so incredibly much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!